Hello there, everybody. HollowLeon coming back at you with another build guide, and I am excited to say that Staff Thief has become quite meta, even in PvP. If you went to meta battle right now, it'd be on there, and the reason I'm so excited about that is because it didn't used to be meta, but not much has changed for Staff Thief since I first brought it up. Back in the first year or two of Heart of Thorns is when I originally decided I wanted to create this channel. And my first ever build video was the Bounding Bastard Thief. So I'm super excited here in almost 2020 to be bringing this back to you. I play it in PvE now, and it's a whole lot of fun this way. You can bound just infinitely, basically, because of a sigil. And it's super fun, super versatile. It can do good AoE damage, good single target damage. It's very hard to kill, lots of Condi cleanse, lots of healing, everything you could need for a solo build. And I'm super excited to share with you my newly updated version of the Bounding Bastard. Let's roll the intro. Alright everybody, welcome back to this my Bounding Bastard build guide. As you can see from that footage before, that you can have a lot of fun with this. It's very mobile. If you like dodging, we got dodges. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. We'll start off with the equipment. The style is all stuff from the gem store. Aside from these are the Black Lion trading post, the weapons, both of them. A lot of fun. This is the new one. You can get these for like 40 gold in the gem store. But I'm not going to spend much time on the appearance of my character. The only other thing you may want to know is the ghostly infusion. That's how I have my blue flames there. All right. So full berserkers on all of this. The gear that you actually equip, your medium armor, your staff, your short bow, make all of that berserkers. And then just like in the last build video I put marauders on the rest of my trinkets. And the reason that I do marauders is for that extra vitality boost. This isn't like a warrior or a necromancer where you have just a bunch of health already. And endgame can be pretty hard if you don't get above that 15k health pool. It's just, I don't know, it feels like it's really easy to go down super quick. So Marauders, if you want that extra vitality, if not, either way, I still think Marauders is the way to go for one of the traits. Bumping up that precision a little bit helps us in the end with some of this ferocity. And I love these well-balanced stats because we still have a very high chance to critical hit. And mind you, this is without Fury. And really high power. And then also still really great critical hit damage. You're packing a serious punch, but you're still very mobile. You still have a decent amount of vitality and very survivable as well. All right, we're going to make this a super quick build video. Critical strikes, trickery, and daredevil. I wouldn't really recommend for this build changing any of these because they're all very important for getting the extra initiative, the extra endurance, being able to dodge and use your skills as much as possible. So starting out with critical strikes, your critical hit chance is increased while your health is above the threshold. Can't change this anyways, but one of the reasons that we take critical strikes to have that. This you can choose what you want here. If you want deal increased damage while your health is above the threshold, this will give you a little bit extra critical hit chance. So when you're at full health or above 90%, you're already sitting at 70% critical hit chance at all times, which is great. But I'm really happy with the amount of damage and critical hit chance I have. So I like getting this extra bump of might every time that I apply Fury. Gain Fury when you strike an enemy whose health is below the threshold. So right there you can see how these synergize really well together, and that's why I decided to go for it. Gain ferocity based on your precision. I don't recommend either of these other traits really. That's why I went with that Marauders to get that little bit of extra precision. So now we get a little bit pumped into that ferocity. If we change this we go down to 216 instead of having that 230, which I guess isn't huge, but I'm a real damage whore, and I love it. All right, gain increased critical damage against foes whose health is above the threshold. So just extra damage there. This one you can choose if you feel like you don't have any issues with surviving, which is quite possible with a build with this many dodges and Condi removal and healing. But this is where a ton of your healing comes from. You're healed for a percentage of your outgoing critical hit damage. And we have a really high critical hit chance. And we can keep Fury up almost constantly, which means we get 20% of the critical hit damage we're doing, which is absolutely insane. If you're watching the footage in the intro of this video, you can just watch my health bar bounce back up and down, and you can just see the amount of healing you're getting with each one of those vaults, especially if you're doing AoE damage to multiple targets. But if you wanted to, you could change this to no quarter. This works really really well with these two traits to keep Fury up even longer and to get even more ferocity. So if you want even more damage, go for this. But if you're having any trouble surviving, go with Invigorating Precision. This will make your life a whole hell of a lot easier. Kleptomaniac, stealing gives you initiative, so if you aren't able to get another vault off or another one of your debilitating arcs to dodge away, you can always steal to just get that little extra bump of initiative and hopefully get off whatever you're trying to. Thrill of the Crime, pretty self-explanatory. Do this when you're trying to have big damage. Also, if you want to interrupt the enemy based on this, if you keep this trait. Preparedness, increase maximum initiative by 3, which is another reason the trickery line is very important so that we can get more skills off more often. Wouldn't recommend changing. Well, sorry, excuse me, you can't change that one anyways. This one I wouldn't recommend changing. Trickster. Tricks gain reduced recharge and remove conditions. So this already removes certain conditions anyways, but this will give you a little extra condition cleanse with your heal, which comes back up every 14.5 seconds, which is a lot. So use this as soon as you're missing around 3k health. Anytime I see that I'm like below that 90%, I try to pop my heal, especially if you have any conditions on you. But also your roll for initiative is a trick, which will give you an extra Condi cleanse, and your ultimate is a definite oh shit kind of button. This will reflect projectiles, allow you to evade, and remove a condition as well, and you can jump around and move out of the way of whatever danger you're in while this is going on. All right, lead attacks increase damage and condition per initiative spent. Condition damage doesn't matter to us. And your steal gains reduced recharge time, which is very important. Then this is another one you can change up pretty easily if you wanted to. You don't have to go with sleight of hand, but I really like being able to have that interrupt in a small amount of CC, because that's what we really lack in this build is CC for destroying breaker bars. So if you were going into some sort of dungeon or some sort of event with other people, you definitely want to change this build up a little bit. This is mainly for roaming, story content, and it still will work for dungeons and raids as well. You're just gonna have to trade some of your traits and change your playstyle as well. But if you wanted, you could go to quick pockets on swapping weapons, gain a little extra initiative to make sure when you weapon swap, you could teleport out with your bow 5 skill. Just making sure you have that little extra pocket of initiative. But I really like having the days, and it gives extra recharge reduction. Then, of course, the last is Daredevil, so we can use that staff. Gain vitality based on a portion of your power. Another thing that I like, give a little extra vitality bump. But also damage reduction, so this allows us to be a little bit more tanky. You could change this to gain health whenever you successfully evade an attack. So one thing I would recommend, if you're going for more power here and no quarter, you would want to change to this to get that extra healing and extra condition cleansing. But since we get so much healing out of this the way that I'm playing it, I go for this. It was really bad English there, but you get what I'm saying. So swap those out if you decide to go with no quarter. Weakening strikes, your next attack after dodging causes weakness to foes struck. Man, I can't read today. Pretty obvious we're dodging all the time, so you're going to be applying a lot of weakness to targets around you. Staff Master, this is just to get that extra damage, and also the endurance per initiative spent, which is pretty awesome. So another way that we can dodge more on top of all the extra endurance regeneration we have. And then endurance thief. Gain endurance when you successfully steal from an enemy. And then bound. This is one I wouldn't switch for this since we're going full power. And we don't have this for healing, which would be great for Impaling Lotus. We just do this for extra damage, and you can just dodge forever. It's really great to use as a finisher. If you see an enemy nearby that's almost dead, you can use this and then recharge all of your endurance, which is something I forgot to talk about in the equipment section. So on your staff, you're going to put Superior Sigil of Force, which will give you that extra damage, which is a no-brainer. But Superior Sigil of Stamina, this is what brings this entire build together. Your endurance is refilled each time you kill a foe, and that's your entire endurance bar. So for any sort of mob fighting, this build can literally just bound forever, like you saw in that beginning part. As long as you're ending that dodge on someone, your endurance is just going to go right back up, and you can just bound forever and ever, on top of being able to use your actual vault as well. Incredibly powerful build, and it's super fun too. I don't want to say that it's a shut your brain off kind of build, but that's kind of what you get to do, is just bounce all over the place and just dodge in random directions. And it's really... there's not much to think about because it's all within that mechanic of dodging and just using a couple skills. So for food, you can honestly use basically whatever you want that helps with this. You could use vitality regeneration food if you wanted, anything. But what I really like is Bolivorian truffle and meat stew, because it's actually less expensive than a lot of options, and that 100% chance to gain might on dodge is great because you're dodging all the time, but also plus 40% to endurance regeneration. This is what I highly recommend for the build, but if you weren't going to do that, I'd run the bowls of sweet and spicy butternut squash soup, because you get that extra power and the extra ferocity, which is what we're stacking a lot of, so we can have those high critical hit, big numbers. Sometimes your vault can even do over 10k, just one vault in itself. And then whatever utility you wish. All right, with all that being said, we'll go over the skills really quick. You run staff and then short bow for the little extra mobility. If you really, really wanted, you could run double staff and put one of them with that sigil of agility on it, so you could get extra dodges out of that as well. But I really like being able to have a little bit of range pressure and also a little bit of mobility from this. We've already gone over withdraw as our heal skill. Very useful. Shadow Step is the main thing you can switch out here. You're definitely going to need a stun break. If you prefer Reflexive Strike, this could be really well, and that'll give you another knockdown to deal with breaker bars. But once again, I really like the mobility of this, and it also is a little bit extra condition cleanse, since I decided to go with the Marauder's Resilience instead of Escapist's Fortitude. So if you did go with the Condi Cleanse trait, you could definitely change this to something else. But Roll for Initiative is another evade that's also a Condi Cleanse. Very important for when you're running out of initiative and you just need one more vault, one more whatever skill it is you need, or even just to get disengaged from battle. Signet of Agility, if you're running out of those dodges, this is another way. If you're just not quite there and being able to kill an enemy to refill your endurance, you use this. You'll get 2 bars of your dodges back, because we actually have 150 endurance when you go to Daredevil, not 100, which is, I guess, not unfortunate, because it'd be way too overpowered if it was considered 100, and we got in that kind of increment, if you get what I'm saying there. Moving on, once again, your ultimate is your ultimate oh shit button. Use that to get out of hairy situations, or if you're experiencing very heavy ranged pressure, this will put all that ranged pressure back at the enemies. If you're playing this in some sort of World v World or PvP, this is really great for when Mesmers try to Condi bomb you, especially staff Mesmers, the way they're set up right now. So old school, I came to Ore instead of one of the new endgame maps to show this off. Just because I thought it was a prettier backdrop, and then we need more enemies instead of like single target enemies. I just wanted to show you the capabilities of dancing between a couple targets. Also, I apologize. I'm gonna look really rusty here because I've been playing the game in a completely different way lately, and sometime soon I'm going to show you what's going on in my life and what I'm doing in Guild Wars now, because I'm on a whole new venture with it. That's why this content was slow to get out. Man, I'm gonna kill these guys too fast. But anyways, with this build, with your staff out, it's really easy to dodge into battle. Use your number 3 to dodge back out. Dodge in, volt. Now you can see we have 100% endurance again. It's absolutely insane. And 100% endurance. And since you're dodging so much, you're not taking any damage. There's just really not much that anything can do to you. I should have picked out a spot with more monster density, but this is good. This will be good. Yeah. Alright, if you're experiencing that ranged pressure, which I wasn't really, but they were throwing their axes at me. But anyways, once again, dodge, 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 and then dodge some more. And everything will be fine. Really lame exit to the video. I've been really bad at these lately. I'm going to start making more videos, so I'm not so terrible at making them. And I hope that you get what I'm talking about here and why this build is so much fun. Look at that. 3 dodge, 3 dodge, 3 dodge. One last note, if you're just going for single target damage, or just like a boss, any enemy where it's just one target, you're trying to bring them down fast, the way you do the most damage is by spamming your 2. Nothing has changed in Thief Land. Boom. You see that? It just took 2 of them. Just get right up against the enemy and spam number 2. That will always stay the same whether you're playing daggers or staff. Even the bow, number 2 is kind of your OP weapon or skill. Anyways, I'm going to start making more videos. I'm going to be releasing a video here soon. I'm going to be starting a guild, but you have to play the niche way that I am. Sorry, I'm being so damn vague, but you will see soon what's going on in my life and how I'm playing Guild Wars, how I plan on playing it in the future. And I won't be making as much content as I am when I'm active, instead focusing on streaming more and making a video around once a month or some content updates. Anyways, if you enjoy this build, please come back and consider giving me a like or subscribe. I'm going to be leaving some information in a future video about how you can contact me in game. I've made a whole new account and I'm starting from scratch. And if anyone would like to join me in that endeavor, please leave something in the comments below and I'll find a way to contact you as soon as I have that going. Anyways, peace guys, enjoy the Bounding Bastard build.